Yeah, and then going back to Third Impact, who won game number one, keep in mind that Third Impact is very active in the beginning of the game. So you can see, looks like Reps is going to go and toss the bubble for Snipe Down because it's fairly common where teams will land on top of the construction building over towards the opposite side of Fragment, and they'll try to beam you as you're hitting that scan. And it's extremely annoying. It messes up your loot pathing, stops you from getting information and talking about how you want to make your rotations. But Third Impact was actually slowing down CLG last time. And keep in mind, we had some 50-50s over towards Dome. Nestle Pure Life was over there with Team No Cocoa Puffs. And then it was Madness who was taken down numerous times early. So I want to keep tabs on all of those teams as they kind of make their way through these rotations.
Yeah, they were able to pick up that scan, so we'd love to take a look at the map in just a moment here as they will continue their loop path. One thing we have to consider as well is are we going to have any of the other 50-50s that we had? Sentinels taking on Team Pringles over by Sorting Factory. And speaking of Sorting Factory, never mind, take a look at that. Sentinels have all of it to themselves for the time being, and Pringles are all the way over by Epicenter.
Yeah, it looks like they switched up the strategy a little bit, but Sorting Factory zones are another fun zone, but this isn't that far off of Tree, so we'll see how fast TSM can get back over there. We know Fragment over towards Sorting isn't that far of a hike. We know Team Applejacks isn't that far as well, so they're going to be one of those teams that make an early rotation in. And I want to see how Sentinels plays this one because they're going to be able to utilize the roof if they want to, and that's something that they've typically done. But there's a lot of different options here, and they should know from having home court advantage for these zones exactly which zone it's going to be.
Yeah, one of the difficulties I think now of playing inside Sorting Factory is that the roof isn't as safe as it used to be. With the number of Octanes, maybe some Horizons coming in, that high ground access is very prevalent for a lot of squads. So Sentinels with the pings down over by Tree, surprisingly enough. TSM on their regular rotation timings with a minute 30, they have already left Fragment East or about to make their way into Sorting Factory as Hal spots one out. What is that? The R301. Imagine if he had an actual mag on that thing. He's going to go ahead and full send it with that jump pad out now, chasing after this last player. He needs to scan a snipe down. No, he does not. The bat was hit by this Wraith, not hitting his EVA H shots, and he will trade away with Paradise. Oh my goodness, wow. You don't get to see that often, but they will drop down. There is the bubble, but a nade's right inside. Hal gets finished off by the nade of Bambino, and they have not answered back with that thirst. TSM were just a little bit slow to cover him there, but here is Reps now taking this next fight up against 303, playing around as the bubble gets thrown down. He does go for the high ground, and here is Snipe Down with the flank, getting the knock onto Bambino, trying to help out Reps. Buys enough time for him to get that bat off at the very least, but he will fall. It's going to be ASCII versus Snipe Down in a 1v1 now.
Snipe Down was going for the thirst throughout all of that, but doesn't armor swap because he's the controller guy, so he's going to go and hit the battery instead, and now some pings going down for Reps, and he is basically trading the thirst so he could get information from Reps, and now the double scan coming out. We have a little Bloodhound on Bloodhound 1v1 here to see who's going to be able to get these banners back. Snipe Down shooting through the window, only connecting from 24, sees that he has the disadvantage in terms of armor and is worried about a third party possibly coming in. He does see that that's coming from the side, so he's going to bail. Unfortunate for TSM. Things were looking so good. Hal with the 160 spray, and gotta be honest, Jamerson, TSM not being able to catch up to their Octane, that's a thing. You can't catch up to Octane. He's just too fast.
That's some solo queue woes there for him. But I mean, it also might have just come down to he didn't have a mag in his R301. If he had a white mag, he gets that kill at the very least, you know? It's absolutely insane. But here comes Team Pop-Tarts now, coming through the area as they do have the scan on down. The bubble has already been used as well, but a scan shows that another team is in the area. They're not going to get over-aggressive here. They're just going to bide their time. We're already down to 19 squads and 54 players remaining, by the way. And so Pop-Tarts know that they have to slow this one down. A lot of teams are rotating through here. They're going to have to worry about their back as well. So they need to use all the information that Impulse can give them.
Yeah, this is a very similar rotation to what TSM was trying to do, and They're just going to continue to find out what is open here. Don't be surprised to see a lot of teams coexisting in this main building. And guess what? It's already happening. Looks like the fight is taking place between Team Rice Krispie Treats, and I believe that's going to be Senpai going down immediately. And Flashpoint, it looks like Kubsky eats it as well. That's 2 players instantly thirsted. Team Intel is in the vicinity, and this is exactly what Team Intel did yesterday. They held this toilet bowl very well, and now they're starting to get aggressive. Panda's going to lay down the portal. They want the third party that's taking the office building.
Yeah, they're going to be coming up from height, but he has been scanned up, and so the jig is has been known. We'll see if you can find an opening with the Arc Star. Maybe they take that port and go, but without getting anything there, he's just going to hold for now at the top of the stairs. Team Intel, they're in a great spot, like you said, playing that toilet bowl once again. They've got a purple armor along with double blues. Six has been doing an amazing job of upgrading his evos throughout a lot of the games. I mean, from this position alone, I believe it was when he was playing with a longbow, I want to say he had 1,000 damage, no kills at one point. And so
He did.
Definitely utilize this position to try and at least upgrade your evos.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to just kind of slow play this, checking the portal, see if anyone's going to come through. And Team Intel, they're going to be here for a while, so let's go ahead and scroll around and see where else is some fights, and that's exactly what we're doing. Team Applejack's getting a little bit of skirmish over towards tree side. That's going to be Retzi with the nice R301 tracking onto Aves. Bubble Red's going to come through, maybe a defensive bombardment as well, but we've seen this so many times where there's just a little bit of sliver of that bubble showing here. We'll see if a grenade actually makes its way through. It's a gold backpack res, though, so that could bait Sentinels into getting a little bit more aggressive than they need to. However, it looks like Trinal's not even concerned. There's no scans coming through. It must have been a long-range rip coming in from Retzi.
And definitely no stranger to that one at all whatsoever. And so things do slow down for the time being. We got another 20 seconds before the ring starts closing. It looks like Uzako and company have been able to jump on top of them. As you can see, the Death Totem has already been used by 90s. Maybe we're able to secure that thirst onto Crust as well, but now they want to get out of dodge. They've done their damage, they've gotten their kill points, and so they will just back away towards the other building.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of these players. I wasn't here last week, so you're a little bit more familiar with me than them, Jamerson. So I'm looking forward to kind of learning about this play style that they bring to the table. Obviously, one of the more fun compositions to watch, cast, and play is that Octane Revenant, but you really are dependent on your utility. You have to make sure that you have the Death Totem up. You need to make sure that you have the Octane Jump Pad ready. Obviously, the Octane Jump Pad comes back so much faster than the Death Totem. But Cooler is playing this high ground that we were talking about before for when the zone does pull over towards tree, but we know this is a sorting factory zone. So Cooler's putting down some pings, trying to figure out which area is going to be the safest for them. And it looks like they're just going to hang a Larry and go back around over towards that left-hand side. So now Team Pringles looks like they're getting a little bit close towards where Team Intel is, and they're electing to hold this area here, which is the blue crates, which is a very common ending on the opposite side of this fence. We even saw this one numerous times inside Series E, but a lot of times when you hold that, you typically have a caustic.
Take a look at that pole, though. It goes over towards the train track ending to the west of Sorting Factory, actually. So a lot of teams are going to be caught off guard by that. Team Liquid in a fight up against those Corritos. Hyarka has gone down. Flanker picks that one up as well. And I believe throughout all of that, that quite possibly Sentinels might have been able to get the res onto Crust. We saw that going down over by Tree. Here's Team Liquid making their next push on out. So everyone just picking up the Octane. It's been surprising to see so many Octanes in this lobby.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, just jump pads on top of jump pads everywhere. It's like, oh, here's a random jump pad. Let's go and use that. Kind of reminds me when, if anyone remembers when Octane was first teased on Kings Canyon, they put a couple of jump pads all over the map. One was kind of right outside Market. It's kind of how what we have right now in terms of Pro Apex here in Series E, just random jump pads all over the map. Team Liquid holding this fence area, and I think that this is going to continue to pull over towards that train cart like you were talking about, Jamerson. So we are going to have an absolute bloodbath here in Sorting Factory.
Oh, Bambino got a knock onto Nasky, and we did confirmation. Crust is back in the game. Cooler here, though, trying to fight up against this, but Bambino won't be able to take him out. So NPL really starting to come alive here as we join on board with CLG, getting the thirst onto Max Strafe. They'll back away. They're not too far off, controlling the train tracks, and if they can maintain this position and then swerve their way on in to that train car, that would be massive. And look, they've got a little nest egg to work off of here as well. 4 bats just laying around for them. So CLG are in this for the long haul. Unfortunate for Zicky there as he tries to throw in that frag grenade. The refrigerator of Harold just steps right in front of him, blocking that one out as they try to make this push on up. Wondering what squad this is above them right now for third impact. But you can see here, we're talking about it. So many buildings here over at Sorting Factory for the teams to try and coexist, but there's a lot of fighting taking place.
Probably 3 teams within the vicinity here, plus another 4 or 5 waiting to collapse on any type of third party. 16 squads as this round closes. Typically around round 4 is when a lot of the teams will start to disperse, but we have Caustic Gas inside where Team Intel's trying to infiltrate out of the rotation outside the donut, but now you see they're going to back off just temporarily, take the portal, and live to fight another day. We know that there was a team over towards the side. Forgot what team that was. I think maybe Pringles locking down that area, but you can see the multiple zip lines that Six put up if he wants to get to the top of that toilet bowl so he can get the high ground and see from a bird's eye view where these teams are going to rotate from. But you don't want to be the first team to fight. You kind of want to go in third party, and that's what Team Intel was doing. The third party didn't work, so then they backed up. But oh my gosh, Senox from behind.
That was just a beautiful team fire coming out from Sentinels as Prodigy Aces thought he was safe behind that cover, but just from right behind him. Looks like TSM now out with Snipe Down going down, but Joey Blackout taking a lot of damage, cannot recover. Prodigy Aces there as Ack is caught out on the middle of this ledge. He's getting shot up and he will go down. Sanox once again with another kill there. They should be able to secure this one very shortly as well, and they will. It's all up to Joey Blackout for Team Cheez-It. They haven't even secured a placement point quite yet, and he sees the oncoming onslaught and has to back off here. Does enough damage, maybe slows them down. Maybe the presence of Team Liquid, I believe, as well can help him out. But another squad has shown up, and it's a race to who can pick up this red.
And instead of dropping down, he's going to elect to try to fight that one. Goes for a quick armor swap. Doesn't work out, and that's going to be Team Sentinels coming through and looking fairly strong. So it's nice to see how they're playing this one. Again, a little bit of unpredictable zone pull. And the team that's on top of the rotation is Team Liquid. How long are they going to be able to hold this train cart? There's a high percentage chance that it ends directly where they're at.
Yeah, and we have to remember that CLG not too far off. Also playing the train track tunnel, actually, as Rice Krispie Treats up in a fight, take out Android, bring it down to a 3v2 up against Team Razor here. Hakulo tries to push up, but you can already see a third party coming in. That's going to be Team Rockstar getting the kill onto Hakulo, and Muffins going to be left by himself. We're down to 15 squads here. Over by Sorting Factory, though, inside Banana, we have big fights at the bottom edge as Zicky was buying his time with that PK, got the knock on to Metro. Panders answers back, but it's now down to a 1v2. Panders picking up 2 here as Intel want to finish this one out, but oh no! As they were trying to go for the thirst, the third party comes in, and here's Team Noko getting involved as well. So a lot of fighting taking place here as they have to survive this next third-party attempt. Noob King has gone down as Tanner Slays pops into that queue. Will go ahead and use his port to back on up. Team Pringles wants to get involved, but ultimately here, they can be happy with the loot, picking all of this off, but another kill would help them out as well. Sliding in behind that cover just in time to get into that port. Phony wants to chase after him here, and Fury, along with Presley, will be able to pick up a lot of the kills on the ground.
I believe this is Tanner, the last guy alive inside the office over here on the Wraith, who queued out. Now he's forced into a 1v1, and it is Tanner taken out very quickly by Phony. Nice. I don't want to call it a third party. I want to call it maybe a 5th or 6th party that came into the fray over here, as Team Pringles is going to be rewarded with all of this loot. What kind of guns do y'all want? Because there's literally everything there. You can grab the PK. There it is. Coming in for Fury. He's going to enjoy that one. Still plenty of shots there from Third Impact's Death Boxes. Now Nestle Pure Life trying to get back into it. Looks like they've picked up a couple of assists here and there, so one of their better games. We'll see if they can get out of this pretty bad situation. Being on the low ground is tough, but they do have the Octane jump pad if they want to try to get it.
Yeah, there's about 10, maybe 13 death boxes down over by Banana, and they can play that position for a while. There's got to be plenty of utility for them to utilize as well. We're down to 11 squads, 28 players remaining, so I believe 5 players currently missing from the lobby right now, as NPL are one of the healthy squads. And like you said, they're playing from the low, and this ring actually pulls into sorting factory. And so that banana position that team Pringles will be playing out of, they are happy to be there. They have all those boxes, all the armor swaps, all the loot to play off of. What an amazing turn of events for them.
What do you guys know about rocket snipes in the chat? Imagine if you had a rocket launcher right now, Nestle Pure Life would be absolutely done for. We'll see. We'll see eventually if rockets come into Apex. But Pop Tarts with their rotation, this has been so tough for these players to predict. We've seen two different, completely different zones, basically, where you would say, okay, Team Liquid, you have the high ground, you have the best position right now, but no, you don't. You have to make another rotation through, and Team Pringles is going to be in the best spot right now, like we were talking about. Jamerson Razor on the Tomcat Rat Cam over here, as Muffins is trying to hit some heals. I'm sure there's going to be a Bloodhound scan here very shortly, but
Didn't hear him?
it looks like he is done for. There's no way he's going to get out of that.
They didn't hear him, and you can see he canceled that heal just in case as well. But here it is, Rice Krispie Treats in a very great spot as they are basically just center zone for the time being. They've got the caustic to slow any team down. There'll be a lot of fighting taking place around them, probably not on top of them. Nice Arcstar goes out as Team Pop-Tarts are trying to hold down here on the low ground up against this squad. Don't know who it is on the other side. It is actually Team Liquid. They've already gotten the first knock in just like that. Pop-Tarts finish off Liquid with the help of CLG, and now CLG are trying to take advantage here, coming in from the 2-point entry. Do back away into the bubble now as they chase after Team Pop-Tarts pushing up, and wow, just like that, Vaxon and Lou will clean up two. CLG lose out on one. The third party attempt, is it coming in? It looks like that squad is considering it, but the scan is there. That should keep them at bay, buying Lou enough time to heal up. He's got the armor swap, and CLG survive.
What a job by Vaxon. You can see the confidence that he has in Madness to go and do damage. And you have to realize that once you're going to send out on a fight, you can't let a little grenade get in the way of stopping you, especially when you're in your Bloodhound Ultimate, Beast of the Hunt there. Just zoom right past that thing, fly in, have confidence in your teammates that they're going to be able to bait and switch with you. That's exactly what Vaxon does. Not only that, he also helps with the disengage too. So it goes from aggressive to defensive in basically a matter of seconds, and now CLG is able to take control of that snake building. But Sentinels has now taken the roof that they're so used to playing here. So this zone is going to end basically directly in front of them, underneath that building over towards that northeast side.
They've already gotten 4 kill points, so they're happy right now. When it's all about finishing this one out strong with the 8 squads remaining. I believe that is Muffin still in? He might still be ratting this one out. We'll find out. CLG have made their way on in, but they're playing inside, underneath a building actually, with very little cover, only those pillars to work off of. So they're going to try and avoid the LOS there as best as possible, utilizing these shelves. So let's go ahead and take a look around at other squads.
Well, where CLG's at right now is literally the best spot in my opinion too. So I'm glad that we hopped on board so we could see exactly what CLG's thinking, because that zone is going to end directly in front of them underneath that building. So we'll definitely keep tabs on what CLG's up to, but they're going to be gatekeeping these two teams right here as they make their exit out. So don't be surprised to see Sentinels try to take the roof of this building here, probably with a portal from Retzi. If Retzi wants to, he can go from roof to over towards the side and clamber up directly where Stunny's at right now, or excuse me, where he would be in that other building, and then take that roof. But that's the only team they'd have to worry about would be Team Rice Krispie Treats.
Yeah, and Rice Krispie Treats do have the angle to spot that one out, but they have to worry about their back as well. As you can see, behind them coming up is another squad. As the situation gets a little bit more tense here, we do have the squads rotating in, defensive bombardment coming down on top of Rice Krispies, but they are fine inside the building. I say that, somehow Stunny gets hit, barely on the edge. One of those bombardment hits is the NPL trying to rotate their way on through. They've got a squad ahead of them though, as they try to climb up. It's Sentinels. Fortunately, playing inside the low ground here, they've already lost out on 2. Retzi's the only one alive, and this is what I'm talking about. The high ground is so easy to take with that jump pad. Applejacks were able to get on top of the crane, and even though Aves goes down, they're able to at least get that res safely. Rollers is actually on the ground here, and Aves gets re-knocked by Lou, so Rollers is now just going to try and finish off this squad, but Retzi survives, and he needs to hit up that med kit for the time being. Sentinels have hit the top 5 throughout all of this. We still have CLG alive, Rice Krispie Treats, along with other squads, but there's 12 players remaining, so 2 squads damaged at the very least.
Yeah, it's going to be a super fun zone. Sorting Factory, again, with all of these different buildings, all the teams have so many different options to go and play. And that high ground was fairly useful as Rice Krispie Treats is looking strong this game. And Casper on the Caustic, getting to the late game is going to be really deadly. Now he's going to go and take the high ground over towards this roof. Has plenty of different head glitches that he wants to go and utilize. Scout Prowler in his back pocket too. So he's going to be able to have that digi threat through the gas. Definitely keep eyes on Casper for this end game. But there's a lot of good teams waiting in the wings. Remember, CLG is in a priority spot underneath the building where Casper's focusing as well.
Yeah, and he has that Nox gas grenade primed and ready to go whenever he needs to use it. Navi's Kuya was the one lone rat in this lobby. We're down to 4 squads remaining, and so one squad is running around currently as a duo for this last circle. Rice Krispie Treats, they have all their barrels set up. They've got the Beast of the Hunt ready to go when they need it. They'll have the scans on scans to allow Casper to know exactly where he wants to throw this down. Res Beacon, the mobile
Sentinels.
respawn beacon actually
Sentinels.
drops down here.
Has to be Sentinels. It is. That's going to be a great job by Retzi. He gets Crust back up after winning that 1v1 against Rolders, and then he gets the team back into the game by getting Senox here. And there should be some loot in the area to try to get some armor swaps. They also somehow get Casper down with a thermite. Are you kidding me?
That is the player they need to get rid of as well. He had the mass bulk of utility for his squad. Lou gets the knock on to Senox here, but CLG cannot push out of their position. All they can do is throw in their utility and try and secure these kills. They've got that roof controlled now, and with the Beast of the Hunt getting popped, they want these kills. Every team wants these kills, and here come the nades to try and finish them off. Nice spray down to take out Senox, and Sentinels are once again down to a duo. Vaxon turning his attention now over to team to their east as the zone is starting to pressure them. Defensive bombardment will fall. Most teams have made it underneath cover at the very least. We still have to worry about that Caustic. Casper should have gone right back up. Sentinels now down to just 1, and CLG are going to try and set it into this rooftop. Again, buying time for this ring to try and do work for them, but all of the squads are basically underneath here as things slow down. Dropping down as the bubbles have been used. Vaxon is on his own. But with the help of Madness, they get the knock on to Casper. They drop down. Now Lou picks that one up with the massive. He needs to reload as he goes for the armor swap as well. And CLG will take game number 2.